Hey y'all, okay, so ADU update. Now at this stage, well, let me give you some background. So I'm building an ADU in Los Angeles behind a 4-bedroom 2-bathroom house, and the ADU is going to be 700 square feet. Super exciting. It's going to be 2 bed 1 bath, and it's going to include washer dryer, a patio with a sliding glass door. What else did I put in there? An island. Definitely need to have the island. And it's honestly gonna be super cute. Like, I'm way too excited for this. So the process can be long though, right? So right now, we are waiting to get the full plans back. So there was like the draft floor plan piece, and then revisions were made on that, and then there was the elevations, there was the plumbing plans, the electrical plans, and then there's another plan that I forgot the name of, but we're waiting for that one to be done. And then the plans have to be approved, and then permits have to be pulled. So waiting for that. It's been, I think I started this process, let me see, 4 months ago. So yeah, it's taking a while. Now, what I recently did was meet with the general contractor to do some of the more fun stuff. So like the design stuff. So we talked about, okay, what kind of stucco do you want on the outside? Like what color? What kind of trim do you want? What color windows do you want? What kind of cabinets and what color cabinets? And do you want the same cabinets for the island that you want for the kitchen cabinets? And do you want that same cabinetry in the bathroom? What kind of countertops do you want? What material and what color? What kinds of hardware, like for the door handles and things like that. What else do we pick out? Paint colors for the interior. What kind of paint do you want? We haven't talked about flooring yet, so need to do that. But basically, I had an appointment with the general contractor. She met me at a coffee shop here in the LA area and brought a bunch of materials. It was pretty exciting. So she had like a wagon full of like stucco samples and these like color wheel things, and even cabinet samples, counter samples, just a lot of stuff. So I got to see and feel the different types of materials, and we went over like, okay, if you want this kind of black shaker cabinet versus this elegant shaker, like this is the price difference. And you know, something you should think about is how you're going to use the property. So you may want to use this more expensive type in a place where you're going to live, but where you're going to have tenants, not so much. We picked out sinks for the kitchen, so I had to choose between undermount or overmount, and I'll tell you about that later. Chose the faucet colors and design. So anyway, I'm going to tell you everything I chose. I didn't think I would enjoy this part of the process, but I actually really enjoyed it. So, but I think it's part of it is just being given a couple of options and being like, pick from these, as opposed to me having to figure out the vendor. Like, I don't know what is good quality and what's not being able to touch, see, feel it. So that made it so much less stressful having the samples in front of me. And I just love that. I just love that process. And I'm so glad she did it that way. And then she had a document with all the options laid out. And then we just kind of went in and circled them based on what I chose from what I felt and saw that day. So I'll start with the outside. So I chose a white stucco and a black trim for the outside. So I wanted black windows, honestly, but it is just not worth the price. So we're either gonna paint the windows black or just leave them white. And for the front door, I chose a black front door. And then for the outdoor lights, I chose black and gold, like ensconce lights on the outdoor. And then now coming in, so you basically come into the door, and then right in front of you will be a closet. And so all of the doors inside are also going to be black doors. And the handles are going to be gold. I know, it's so bougie, right? But it just looks so nice. Like when we were looking on Pinterest and I saw some of the different combinations, I was like, oh, this is nice. So anyway, you come in, you see the door, and then you turn left, and there's gonna be like an open concept kitchen living room area. So in the kitchen, well, actually for the walls, I chose this like cloudish, grayish, white kind of color. It's gonna look really nice with the white trim on the baseboards. And then for the cabinets, I chose an oak light brown. I know it sounds like it's not gonna match, but it's gonna look fire, okay? So I chose this light brown oak color for the kitchen cabinets. For the countertops, I chose this white quartz, but it has these lines of like goldish, oakish brown. And then for the kitchen sink, I chose a black sink with a gold drain. And then for the faucet, black and gold as well. Now, for these sinks, she was like, okay, you can do undermount or you can do overmount. Now, overmount is preferred a lot of times in rental units because if something happens with the sink, you don't have to replace the entire countertop because you can literally just detach the sink from the countertop, pull it out, discard it, put in a new one. Now with an undermount sink, it is literally like tucked in to and cut according to the sink size, the counters. So if something happens to the sink, you most likely have to replace the entire slab of quartz on the counter. And so she was saying, like, it can be pricey, like maybe $1,500 to $2,000 if you ever have to replace it, as opposed to a couple $100s for a new sink. But the thing is, the undermount sinks look way better. It's cleaner, it's nice, it's smooth. So with the overmount sink, there would be like a little bump on top of the counter, and I feel like, you know, stuff could get stuck in there, water. I was just like, I understand that replacement would be more expensive, but I was just like, I like the look of the undermount. So I ended up going with the undermount sink. And also I have to choose between single basin or double basin. Now, the single basin looks really nice, right? It's super cool. It's giving very suburb, rich feel. Now, I chose a single basin sink for my home where I live in right now. Nah, bruh, like it makes it so hard to wash the dishes because you got one sink, like you just have one big rectangle. That's not helpful, right? Like I'm used to growing up with, you got the dirty side, you got the clean side, or you got the side where you made the dishwater and you washing the dishes, and then you put the soapy ones on the other side because you're gonna rinse them off and put them in the drain thing, right? Not with these single sinks. Like it don't work like that. It's actually very annoying. So I was like, I'm gonna get the double sink. I just imagine the frustration of the tenants. They're gonna be like, whose idea was this? It's not functional. Anyway, so got the double basin black sink. And then all the appliances are gonna be black stainless steel. So that's gonna be dishwasher, stove, refrigerator, all that's gonna be black. And then the island though, the island is gonna have that same quartz countertop, the white quartz with the oak gold lines in it, but the cabinet parts of the island are gonna be black shaker. It's about to be so nice. I know it's hard to imagine, like I'll definitely show you pictures and stuff as it's being built, but it's gonna be nice, don't worry. And then for the hardware for the cabinets, I could choose between like, what is it called? Chrome. I could choose gold, I could choose black, white, whatever. I chose this like nice black and gold combination. It's supposed to be fire. You know, when I was picking this stuff, I was like, do I want to live here? Kind of. Like, I'm just making it so elegant looking. Like, it's supposed to be really cute. So that's the kitchen area. And then like so you come into the door, closet, turn, and then it's gonna be like the kitchen on the left. So like the sink and the counter space along the back wall, stove, refrigerator along this side. And then when you're facing this way though, you're gonna have that big island there. And then that wall is gonna have the sliding glass door. So that's gonna lead out to the patio from the like kitchen living room area. And then the rest of that space is gonna be for like, you know, couch, mount the TV, all that stuff. So then you're gonna turn back this way and you're gonna have a bedroom over here and then a bathroom in the middle and then another bedroom to the right. But the bedrooms are not connected to the bathroom. It's not a Jack and Jill. They're just on either side of the bathroom. So there's still like that privacy element. And the bedroom doors are gonna be black with gold handles. And then if this is the bathroom, that's a bedroom, that's a bedroom. If you turn this way, then on this side, there's gonna be like a little like nook area. And that's gonna be where the laundry is. It's gonna be stacked washer dryer. And it's gonna be like a barn door, not like a full pull-out door. Yeah, so it's gonna be super cute. I'm really excited. We're gonna do recessed lights. And in the living room kitchen area, I decided to do vaulted ceilings because we're going for like luxury, right? I want it to be really nice and I don't want to pay a lot, of course, but I still want it to have like a luxury feel because I want to price it at a premium price, right? I want the people who are renting it to feel like this is brand new, it's giving luxury, it's elegant. I want this to be my home. And I was looking at the rental prices for like a 2-bed, 1-bath in that area. And some places are renting for like $4,000 or $5,000. Like I'm not about to do that. I don't think it needs to be that much, but it definitely showed me like, okay, you could really do this nice and increase the price. But I think part of the challenge that I'll probably have with this ADU is there's not a lot of parking. So really trying to figure that out because I mean the options were like, okay, I could do a short-term rental, I could do a mid-term rental, and in those situations probably don't really have to deal with parking issues that much. But with long-term tenants, they're likely gonna want parking is what I'm thinking. So there's that front house, and even with the driveway though, there's just a lot of people that live on the street and park on the street. This is a neighborhood where there's a lot of multi-generational families and living. So you may have 5 cars for one house, you know, so street parking can be challenging. So that's something that I need to work through. And I think that will also affect how I can price it, because if you come at home every day and you gotta spend 20 minutes looking for a parking spot, that definitely, you know, has an impact on the value of what you're getting. So I definitely plan to be transparent about that, but I'm also actively thinking about solutions to that problem. So yeah, that is the update. I still need to get the plans so that I can, because I can't get solar quotes until I have the full plans. And there's like this new California law that if you're building a brand new detached structure, it has to have solar on it. So I don't really have a choice with the solar, but I just need to get the full, complete approved plans and then send that to the solar company so that they can give me a quote for the solar. So that's where we are. Still need to choose flooring, and but outside of the flooring, I think that's pretty much it for the interior. Now it's just a matter of like the construction. And another thing I need to do is actually get a quote from a landscaping company, because I want the outside to look nice and like serene as well, because it's technically in a backyard. And so I'm thinking about like replacing the fence around the property, or at least on the left side. On the back and the right side is brick, so that's stable and fine. But on the left side, it's like this black spiky fencing and it's not well kept. So I might need to replace that. And then I have to decide, do I want a, you know, what kind of landscaping do I want, or do I want a no-scape, you know? So I need to get some quotes for that. And then the thing with that is that if they have to put concrete out anyway, like if they're gonna bring a concrete truck, I don't need to pay my contractor to bring a concrete truck, because I think you pay by the truckload. So if they're already going to be planning on doing concrete for some other parts of the yard, then I could just have them pour the concrete for the patio and for the landing in front of the door as well, because I have to have a landing. So yeah, I know that's like very technical and stuff, but those are some of the things I'm thinking about. I also want to ask about the plumbing, because my friend recently told me that copper is better than PEX, and I had been hearing for years that PEX piping is better than copper and it's cheaper, but she was just telling me about how she learned that the PEX, of course, if you expose it to sunlight, how it can be a carcinogen, but then she also said it's similar as to when it's exposed to hot water. And I'm like, well, it's plumbing, so hot water would be coming through it all the time. So I need to see the difference between the two in terms of the cost. And I have to actually check and verify, like when the contractor gave me a quote, was that quote based on like copper or some other type of, we're talking about PEX, are we talking about, what's it called, PVC or ABS? Like, what are we looking at? So I need to confirm some of those details as well. But I will keep you updated, let you know what other progress is made, and the journey continues.